This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
I went old school on the intro with you. Max will be joining us a little bit later, but he's en route back from Beaufort working. He's a working man tonight, unfortunately, so he did not get to attend the big Donnybrook in the Den tonight, which will be kind of the highlight of the show for sure, because Marcus, you were there. Wes, did you make it out, or did you watch on Beaufort?
No, I was. I have Thursday nights. I'm
right.
booked on Thursday nights. So
I watched most of it, like one eye on it on Beaufort's own, and
I heard the late lead slip
3
and
minutes.
fell short.
It was a heck of a game. We'll break it down in some detail because
let's open with some scores.
So before we get to that, and we'll get Fish in here in a minute to break down some scores with us, or break down the Bluffton game with us. But some scores from around the Lowco. You wanna do the honors, Wes, or you want me to?
Well, we still have a lot to
We're missing a couple. There's two we're looking for.
We got a few. In 2A in the girls' side, Hampton County bows out. They lose to Lake City 35-28. A lot of 64, Ridgeland 43. Great season from the Jags, falling short over there. A lot of, and then the Boys High School League scores: Great Collegian 78, Mayberry 58, and of course the game you're at, Marcus, a 50-44 loss for Bluffton at the hands of Wilson. So both the 4A boys teams go down, and then over on the Skeeza side, we're still looking for some scores. The one we do have is a good one. Yeah, a good one. 76-43 Hilton Prep boys over Orangeburg Prep. That's what I'm seeing over here. So the Dolphins are marching on to the state final in 3A, and Cross Schools girls 63-40 over Lee Academy. They will also play for the state championship at Sumter Civic Center on Saturday. We're still looking for the Hilton Prep girls, Orangeburg Prep score, and the Thomas Herod Cathedral Academy scores. Skeeza's scores can be hard to find. Those got to really scour for those. But those are basketball scores, and we have softball. And it was a good day for the Sand Sharks. They swept Edward Waters 5-3 and 9-3. Fun fact about that: I was looking the live stats, and the live stats showed it was Edward Waters against the Kaiser Seahawks. Even had Kaiser's logo in place of USCB.
Disrespectful. Yeah, they just probably didn't update it from the last game or something, but disrespectful nonetheless. But yes, we will go into all those scores in more depth here momentarily as we welcome a couple of people to the sandbox. Max has made his way to the studio, and we welcome Coach Fish. What's up, Fish?
What up?
Long time no see. Just saw you courtside over at the Den, chilling out, watching a pretty dang good basketball game. Again, I kind of had one eye on most of it and got to see it in person the last 3 minutes. But you guys were locked in. Marcus and Fish, you were both in the gym. Wes, you were pretty locked in on Beaufort's own, I think, right?
Or were I was watching on Beaufort's own, but I was also at a.
You were one eye on it like me. So the guys who were in the gym, heck of a ball game tonight.
It really was. I mean, the way it started, though, and we talked about it on Tuesday, that Bluffton had to get out with some aggressive play, and they had to have the right mindset to start. That didn't happen. It was easily within a minute, and Coach Gabriel called a timeout, and I was sitting not far from him because Sam and I were in the seats, and he just went nuts. They gave up a bucket down on the far end, and he lit his players up, which is what they needed. And it was a tough first quarter. They really struggled. Harry Skinner had 6 of the 7 points for Bluffton in the first quarter. They were down 17-7, and then the tide started to turn. They were down 27-20 at the end of the first half, and then the third and fourth quarters, obviously late in the fourth quarter, it was just like the beginning of the game where Wilson really took control and iced it down. But this Bluffton team did not give up. They did not quit. It was late in the third where they got their first lead, and they hung on to it for quite some time there into the fourth quarter. Harry Skinner, huge day as usual. Some big plays certainly from Warren and White. They just didn't have quite enough at the beginning, and I think if they would have started off a little bit faster, to say the least, maybe
Well, we
would have
got
had a different
a
result.
score update on Facebook, and was it a redux of the?
Well,
the
I'm wondering, did that happen again, or did he like go looking for the score and see the old post or something? Because I came
yeah.
post again. I'm curious.
Thomas Hayward
I
lost by
was
like 30.
speculating.
What they lost?
They lost by like 30.
Oh, okay.
I watched some of that. Yeah, they lost by
Wait,
like
which
30.
one?
I do have another score.
Thomas
if y'all
Hayward.
want to hear?
Hayward.
What do
You got me excited for a second, Mark. I thought they won.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Nah, they
again.
got killed. They got killed.
That doesn't.
I do have another score.
What do you got?
I got Prep girls, not good. Final
Oh.
score 53 Orangeburg. Hilton Head Prep 40.
Yeah, Orangeburg's like 22.
Yeah, that's a really good Orangeburg
Yeah.
prep team. No, we got two teams playing for state championships: Hilton Head Prep boys and the Cross girls. Congratulations to both of those two teams.
Yeah, the Cross girls kill whoever they play, man.
Yeah,
2A is horrible.
yeah, they smoked
that's
lead
horrible.
tonight, 63-40. Mayor's had
What do you think?
16, Sydney Hollings 15, Genesis Wilson 10, Ray Maldonado 9.
Yeah, man. They ain't even having fun playing.
Yeah, he got foiled.
Is
He
what
got
I'm told.
by a 2-day-old post. Womp womp, or 1-day. Yeah. So yeah, 2 left in it there, and then
And then we still got we got tomorrow. And
we hadn't have anybody survive the gauntlet
oh my
tonight.
goodness, yeah. So we're
Yeah,
down to our last couple of teams, and that would be, although Hampton boys I think they have a good shot.
they got a shot.
That should be a battle.
Yeah,
Bridges Prep, and we'll see if they can upset Atlantic Collegiate, and then Beaufort Bishop England. So those are our last teams standing in the high school league. That's the thing. The bad thing about these playoffs is it can get in quickly for anybody.
Yeah, you can go through the grinder in a hurry. Yeah, tomorrow, best bets. Bridges Prep's probably toast and Atlantic Collegiate, especially because Amarion was there tonight in the den in a boot. So,
Oh boy.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that's not good. Hampton and Burke, you got to think Hampton looks pretty good at home there. Beaufort
I would
girls
agree.
at Bishop England is a tough road to hoe. So yeah, we could be down bad on the high school league side by tomorrow.
Should get 2 in Skeezer though.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost become a given. There's always one powerful girls team and one powerful boys team in the area in Skeezer that has kind of, collected all the Infinity Stones, and they're gonna go make a run at it. And
last year that.
yeah.
Last year that one. But the Bluffton game, man. I thought the Bluffton boys came out a little tight. They knew what they were playing. I think too offensively it takes a while to get used to that length, especially when you haven't seen it all year.
Right. Yeah,
so they got kind of stagnant. Yeah, it's different. But look, if you don't make a field goal in the first quarter and you only score 4 points in the fourth, that's tough. That's tough. But for them to be in it, I thought they just competed all night.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That was the consensus down on the baseline toward the end of the game was, man, they played their butts out tonight.
Honestly, I thought the difference to me, and it happened early, was their big man. He had 2 threes, and I think Bluffton missed a couple like wide open ones.
Yeah,
Which their big man never hits. He never hits threes, and they end up losing by 6. So
Leonard went absolutely nuts with a bunch of big shots, including some threes. I was surprised that Thompson, at least from me trying to keep score, Thompson was held in check. And he's the other big guy that they have. But Bruce made some big plays, especially
he's
late
kind
in the
of
game.
a pass first point guard and defensive stopper type guy, right?
Yeah, he'll get 18 like on some I'm bigger than you naturally type of thing, but he's definitely more of a pass first, defensive guy. In the fourth quarter, you just had a 4-star and a 5-star guy just talent overwhelmed you.
Yeah,
I think they made every play in the fourth or had every basket in the fourth.
That's what I said to the guys down on the baseline. I was like, they played a hell of a game, but at the end of the day, the cream rises, and the last couple of the best 2 guys on the floor are on the same side, and in the fourth quarter that usually kind of comes out. And,
Yeah, and they were just so much bigger, man.
yeah, so much
But it's
bigger.
weird. But it's weird because like I walked on the court with them, and like for me, it'll be weird watching them play in college, and they don't really shoot that well.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they're my height, man, and I was on the little side in college, so
Yeah, and you're a perimeter player.
yeah, so it'll
Now,
be a little different.
now, Leonard may not be done growing. He may end up 6'10".
That's scary.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know how old he is, but yeah, I
He's a
like him. He's
sophomore,
not
right?
an
So,
explosive athlete. His jumper. I mean, his mom looked like she knows ball though. She was coaching him up in the stands or whatnot. So I mean,
yeah,
he's
like,
I'll
top
say
10 in
this
the country
too.
for a reason.
this is a
Right.
fact. Wilson shut down Manning.
Yes.
They scouted him well. They knew he was the 3-point threat. They closed him out with long guys and just didn't give him any space.
I think he missed
They
a couple
shut down
shots too,
McCarthy
man.
too, which I was really interested to see what Aiden was going to be able to do. I know Wilson's on a different level than some
Yeah,
of the teams that I've seen Bluffton play, but they
Aiden
shut
had a tough
Aiden
time.
down
Yeah,
big time.
tough night for him.
I thought the Zay
Sure.
kid came in and played well off the bench. I
Who
think he
got
gave him what Aiden normally
Gadsden?
gives him.
Gadsden? Is that who you said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gadsden's been
Yeah.
he's been a nice player for him this year. Good role player.
Yeah, he's tough.
Absolutely.
He's tough.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, man, talent took over at the end.
Yeah.
You saw the difference between a 4-star, 5-star basketball versus
Right.
4-star
It makes
athlete.
me it makes me wonder
Right.
now if Bluffton had beaten Wilson, how far could they go in this
Yep.
tournament?
Well, I mean, they would have lost the next one to Crestwood because Crestwood beat
It only gets tougher. 4A is
yeah,
a
that's
beast.
true.
4A basketball is a beast. There
Yeah,
are
and
some
then you
really
got like
good
North
as well.
Augusta.
Then you
That's
got
another
Gray
state.
and North Augusta on the other
Yeah,
side.
that's going to be a
Great.
darn look. Yep,
Yeah, I
that is
think
gonna
Great
be-
Collegiate gave North Augusta their only loss on the year. So
And I think they play each other again next, right? And these two teams, Wilson and Crestwood play each other again. So
That
that's
should be mighty
your
interesting.
Final Four in the lower state.
yeah, I think Bluffton made the area proud though, man. It was a good showing. I think they're
Yeah.
the only team around here
Great
who
season
could
for the
play with them.
Bobcats, and just to see the growth of that team from just last season and the year before to a team that really looked like not just a terrific offensive group, but a team that would be able to get some stops on defense and play with some sorts of togetherness as it went along. And they had some rough stretches, but I thought the Bobcat Classic, I mean, what a great memory that was, winning that tournament year right before New Year's, and then winning the region and getting the sweep of May River, winning twice to take that region crown. Harry Skinner had a phenomenal year. I know it didn't. He wish it would have ended differently, but he's had a terrific season and 1,000-point score. Great memory for him. And Brandon White, of course, he was such a difference maker. Carnell, they got some guys returning as well. They're going to be impactful next year. But fantastic season for Coach Gabriel and the Bobcats. Can't be prouder of what they've done and what this region has done, especially the Bobcats, but also May River. And this is a point where Bluffton was already was starting to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, they took the lead.
They had the lead at the end of the third quarter and into the fourth, and then
they only
Wilson
scored 4
just
points. They only scored 4
got
points
after
in the
it.
fourth.
Yeah.
Right. It took. They had it for a couple of minutes, and then Wilson.
I
took
think,
control.
man, what bothered me, they kept going to the same guy in the ball screen, which he was really the main one doubling Harry. I thought that they got a lot of good action when they set a lot of like guard to guard between Harry and Jamari, because you're just switching on same size guys. I think we involved them lengthy guys.
Yeah.
They're just trapping Harry.
That's
So
where
for
you
me, I would have liked to see maybe a little more guard to guard just to keep the size what it was. But I mean, I thought they played well, man.
Yeah.
They
They
battled
did,
hard.
for sure.
Had a shot at the end. You know, I mean, they definitely stayed in the game right to the finish. Wilson was missing free throws down the stretch, and it felt like it might come back to bite him one of those times, but Bobcats just couldn't get a shot.
Yeah, that bank 3 hurt too, man.
Yeah, it did. That hurt bad. But they were right. Yeah, they were right there with them all night long, and that's one of the better teams in the state, no doubt about it. Yeah, they're fun to watch. I thought everybody was out, man. I mean, I saw Reggie Jones. I saw Shane Brown. I saw, I saw
Well,
coaches.
dude, that's the best thing about the Loco is that when other teams are eliminated, some of the other squads are coming to support.
I saw some of my students from Hardyville. Like everybody was popping out to
rally around that last team remaining in this region. So
told you Marion was there and the Bridges guys.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty cool.
Ooh, that was tough right there.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big one too.
Man, I really thought when I was checking the score, I really thought Bluffton was going to take this home in the fourth quarter, and then they were just beat by talent athleticism. I mean, that Wilson team really showed its teeth, and those dudes just overwhelmed Bluffton late, and the athleticism down the stretch was quite impressive, and that hurts to be so close for Bluffton to get that win. Unfortunately, to see them like that at home.
Yeah,
no question.
It's hard, but I think it was a great season for them. There's no doubt there. That was a really fantastic year for them, and I'm intrigued to see how they play next season. We are now a year out from next basketball season.
I don't know what they have next year.
I don't either.
Carnell returns. Brandon will be gone. He was the senior this year.
Carnell goes to school in December or after that.
Yeah,
he goes early.
He's going to early enroll.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't know who's going back over there.
Yeah,
but it was a good run this year.
Pretty empty.
I know a lot of those guys were coming off the flu too. I think a lot of them, including their coaches, had the flu the past few days.
Bluffton?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
They were battling with that against Bishop England. I don't know who saw the Bishop England game, but they were a shell of themselves. I know they're dealing with it then.
I had a weird feeling. Well, I knew the last time Bishop England and Bluffton played, it was only an 8-point game, so I was like, this could be close. It could not. I have a feeling Bluffton will come out and win this one by 15 or more, and it just it didn't really feel like they were going to win. Like from halftime, I just was like, I don't know.
Yeah, they were a little sluggish. So that explains it. I didn't realize they were dealing with the flu.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they're coaches too, man. Both their coaches.
That's rough, bro.
Everybody, bad timing.
It seems like everybody's getting hit with it this year.
It's been wild.
The weather isn't helping, is it?
It's wintertime. Wintertime is when the flu goes around, and I feel like this year.
I know, but it's been kind of up and down this last month or so, where we have a week of like 70.
Oh, it's been awful.
Mid-high 70s, and then
today was so cold.
It's 30 something outside right now. Like it's supposed to get into the 20s.
Terrible.
Like
we did softball practice indoors today. That's no fun.
No.
But yeah. So anyway, I haven't even said that this thing's presented by Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor, our presenting sponsor, the original sponsor of Loco Sports. They've been with us since the beginning in 2017. We appreciate their support every step of the way. And if you have legal needs, you can call on Mickelson Law Firm right in downtown Bluffton, our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Running back through the scores on a Thursday night in February. Rough night for the Lowco on the basketball court. Lake City takes out Hampton County in the 2A girls. Latta takes down Ridgeland in the 1A girls. Orangeburg Prep beats Hilton Head Prep in the Skeeza 3A semis in the girls. Cross Schools advances to the state championship, 63-40 win over Lee Academy and Skeeza 2A girls semis. And then the boys side, Wilson takes down Bluffton 50-44. Gray Collegiate smokes May River 78-50. Thomas Hayward falls to Cathedral Academy by an unknown margin, roughly 30. And Hilton Head Prep beats Orangeburg Prep 76-43 in the Skeeza 3A semifinals, prelude to another championship for them. If you haven't checked the box score, let's play pin the tail on the donkey. How many points for Ty Harpering out of the 76 that Hilton Head Prep scored tonight?
32.
32 for Marcus. What else do we have?
I say 30.
30 for
27. 27.
27 for Fish. And Wes?
I'll do the Price is Right and go $1 over whoever had the highest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 41.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, do you want to go 42 then, Wes, or do you want to
go
33? 33 would be one over Marcus.
Yeah, 33.
I'm going 41.
Wes wins it. 36 for Ty.
Wow.
13 of 19 from the field.
Man.
8 of 13
Crazy.
from 3.
Who do they play in the championship?
I don't even know. Does it matter?
Well, it's either Spartanburg Day or it's
I believe
Academy.
I heard that Christian Academy got upset by Spartanburg. If I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
and so it's either Spartanburg or it's PD. I think. Hold on, let me check real quick.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, we already know how that's
It's going
going
to
to
be
go.
a murder.
Yep. I
Let me
don't
check
think it'll
here.
be close, but I will say Hilton Head Prep. It seems like they've had a couple of tremendous players, whether it was Kusana, whether it was JJ Hayes. Although Hayes was there when they were competing with the big dogs, but now they're in a classification below the most of the other guys. So
7 and 10 and in the
Yeah.
semis.
So Spartansburg Day or PD Academy.
Really,
Spartansburg
it's
Day beat
PD.
Myrtle Beach Christian 52-49 to move on to the
That
semifinals
wasn't
to play
supposed to happen.
PD Academy, who won by 5 over Calhoun. So yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, but who won tonight? PD?
I have not seen the score.
Or are they still playing in some corner of Skeeza land?
Either 4A is legit, though, man.
Yeah, it
4A
is.
is legit. Yeah.
It's absolutely legit.
3A and 2A is just Jesus Christ.
Well,
Yeah.
in 1A.
PD
Curtis
Academy.
at least you had Curtis
Yeah.
Baptist in 1A.
Yeah.
True.
Spartansburg Day is 7 and 10. PD Academy is 17 and 6. So
Yeah.
I have the sneaky suspicion. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it was 28-10 PD at the half per
Okay.
per the stream or whatever this thing's called, score stream, whatever this thing's called.
28-10 at the half.
Wow.
Yeah,
Goodness.
four
He's a
touchdowns,
basketball, baby.
touchdown and a field goal.
Semifinal.
Yeah,
10 points.
10 points at halftime.
Yikes.
Yeah. Sometimes it be like that. I don't know how Spartanburg Day beat Myrtle Beach Christian because I thought they were supposed to be pretty good, but oh well, that kind of thing happens in February. It's February frenzy. 36 for Ty Harping. 8 of 13 from 3 is crazy work.
Yeah, so in terms of 4A, the championship game will be Augusta Christian and Porter Galb for 4A men's basketball. Porter Galb beat Hammond 49-45. Augusta Christian beat Pinewood Prep 82-71. So those two teams are playing each other.
Y'all watching this USA Canada shit?
Yeah,
I'm watching it.
USA's up by 1.
Me too.
Yep. I'm watching it too.
I'm watching this Phoenix Sun shit.
How many screens you got going, Fish?
I got 4 right now, man. I got the Clippers and I got the Cavs on one.
The Canucks have knotted it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Canucks have knotted it.
And yes, Canada just scored.
So yeah, we're dropping like flies on the hoops front, boys. Tomorrow we got Bridges Prep at Atlantic Collegiate, as noted. Marianne Wilson in the boot tonight. Don't know exactly what that means for tomorrow, but it doesn't look good. Less than 100%, to say the least. Burt at Hampton County, and that one should be pretty good. Old school dogfight. I think Hampton County will be all right though. And then the girls, Beaufort, Bishop England, and the high school wrestling state championship start tomorrow as well. And USCB baseball at Augusta.
Yeah, busy Friday leading into a busy Saturday. We may have to do another show on Saturday as well with a couple of state championship games and USCB basketball. And did we even mention the craziness that went down the Cove?
Oh my God! Took a few
No,
years
we haven't gotten into that yet.
That was
Chris, you wanna
wild.
Stick
I was
around, or you need to
watching
get out
a
of here.
bunch of it.
I'm going to go ahead and slide, man. I'm going to
All
slide.
right, Bo. Appreciate you.
I'm going to
Be
talk to you
well.
later.
See you down the road.
Yep.
See you, Coach.
All right. Yeah, the craziness in the Cove last night. No, we have not mentioned that because we didn't do a show last night. Because
good
of
thing that you said that we weren't going to do a show, or that you weren't going to do a show.
Well, I've already
last
learned
night,
that's
it was a long night for you.
I've already learned it's just a no-go on
for him, dude. I was there too. I was at the game, so was
It's
Wes.
late before we get out of there.
It's true for you guys as well.
Last night it was extra late because we worked double overtime, overtime in both games, extra time for no extra pay. free basketball, if you will.
Hey, as long as it comes with some wins, I will take it. And we got
a barbecue sandwich and some mac and cheese and a dessert. I mean, like that's all.
Yeah, they feed us well, so that's good too.
As long as you feed me in between games, I'm good.
Yeah.
But no, last night was absolutely amazing in the Cove.
Bananas.
It might have been my favorite night in the Cove yet, in the sense that we got 2 scoops against Aiken.
Yeah, which really they are natural in-state rivals.
Yeah,
for good reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
then the highlight of the night.
I love how Bracken quoted Mike Krzyzewski in the recap.
Yeah, I liked it too. But my favorite part of the night by far was the Best Buddies basketball show, exhibition at halftime of each game, and the fact that one of the special recreation athletes, Jeff Riley, was able to join me on commentary during both games for the second quarter of the women's game and for a 4-minute break, spot between media timeouts for the men's game. And that was something that kind of was set in motion a couple weeks ago. Jeff and I were eating our meal together in between games in there, and he asked, well, what do you do during the game? Because I said, hey, man, you do a good job of making sure that you get that floor dried up so those players don't get hurt. I said, you're bold. He runs out there when the play's at the other end and the ball's still in play. He'll run out there and mop a spot up before they come back down the floor.
Wow.
And I said, man, you're bold in that men's game.
Real bold.
They get up and down that floor fast, and I'm always worried about you, but you're like one of those, those rodeo clowns that run out there and get the job done and get out of there real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And he asked what I did, and I told him, that I broadcast the games, and well, that sounds pretty cool. He'd like to try that. And so we had talked about it a couple more times, and last home game, I told him, so you guys are doing your exhibition next game? He said, yep, against Aiken on 19th. And I said, well, how about on the 19th? I stole an idea from you guys, Marcus. I said, how about you join me during the second quarter of the women's game on the commentary, and you can do some broadcasting. And you guys were listening. I mean, he knows what's going on. He was picking up on things. He had a natural urge to want to do the play-by-play. But he did a good job of suppressing it. But he got excited when he saw something developing and anticipated it.
Of course.
And but he brought some facts to the table. He had done some research and reached out to Ali Ralat about his being drafted into the Puerto Rican Professional League, and had some facts on that. And he did awesome. And we were texting earlier today, and he's excited to do it again. Fantastic. And Marcus, you said you would love to have him join you
I'm gonna have to watch some of the gaming, because I can't. Obviously, I'm doing the scores table, so I'm hyper fixed on that. So I feel like I want to watch the broadcast again, and also because it's a great game on top of our fantastic Best Buddies. And I was loving the basketball they're playing in half times of the games. They were they were killing it.
Jeff got a bucket too.
Yeah, he did.
More than one bucket.
Yeah, I was even talking with a couple of folks, and certainly Jimmy Searson a little bit about Jeff today. And we've got spots where during football season we have so many sideline reports. We could have Jessa talk to him during football season, and then basketball season. I was telling you guys, and certainly talking to Jimmy about it, just that because we don't have sideline reports during the basketball season, that's why I said, well, we need to get a guest on and make it big for the big time game, being typically the boys games that we do. So I said that I would definitely reach out here in due time and try to connect myself with Jeff.
I think the second quarter makes so much sense. I like that a lot. Because
first year I did it was the third quarter, and then I thought that's not great.
Yeah,
let's try
the second quarter works the best, I think.
Big time.
Because you
got a nice hard out at halftime, where you can kind of reset. And honestly, nobody really remembers what happens in the second quarter.
Right.
That's kind of where the game kind of I mean, it
It's
matters,
the
but
Well,
lulls.
sometimes it
lulls
does.
a
If you
little
go on
bit.
like a 20-0 run, it matters, of course.
Absolutely, it matters, but it just sort of the game sort of lulls
It's
a little
the
bit,
Right.
natural fit to
Yeah.
have a guest on.
and then the narrative resets at halftime.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So it
Fair.
fits well.
Fair.
Yep.
And certainly, if it's somebody who can add a little of insight and a little color to it, then
Absolutely.
I just think it adds to the broadcast to have mix in a different voice. And I'd like to see
some information, getting some outreach, and a little bit of a networking opportunity as well. From the other side of it.
Yeah, and I'd like to. I'd talked to Dr. Sawyer about the USCB broadcast that, I pitched her the idea of having Jeff on, and then I said, I like the idea of the second quarter guest because then we can bring on a coach from another program or a student athlete and kind of have some banter in between plays and get a little insight there, and I think it'll really add to the overall broadcast. But I love getting the students involved. It's my favorite thing that it's the kids that are running it, that are actually out there on the cameras and pushing buttons and
they're great kids. I mean,
awesome.
I have just limited experience, but last year filling in for you on a doubleheader, working with a couple of folks, it was great.
Yeah,
nothing like
start feeding
hands-on experience.
Hoping to start feeding some Hardyville students that way to get them into that program. It just makes so much sense to keep local kids here in that program and let them work with us all through their schooling and get the experience they need to go out and do it in the real world. So that's what we're trying to do over here. Paxton Cogswell countering the shutting down of Manning and saying they didn't really shut him down. He had good looks, just didn't hit his shots tonight. And sometimes
that's the other thing too, is that especially early, Bluffton had a lot of really good looks, but they went off iron or were halfway down and kicked back out.
Don't we know about that at USCB? Goodness. USCB has stretches where they.
Well, I will say that guy's team, that guy's game. Just, I mean, they had control really up to the last few minutes. They were close to up double digits or nearing that point, and then you miss a free throw all of a sudden, and then you lose one out of bounds, and then Aiken gets it, and then they hit that corner three at the end where USCB did not mark them, but he was left wide open in the corner. I mean, there's no excuse for that.
I saw him trying to get to
all you have to do is defend the perimeter. If they get a two, that's not the end of the world because there's only a few seconds left. So obviously they're going to go for a three as long as you don't foul when you're in there. If they go for a layup, but you pretty much expect them to shoot a three at that point. I mean, you can't not leave at least, especially when they're shooters wide open. You cannot. I mean, you cannot do that. But thankfully, they did lock in overtime and get that win. But man, quite a stressful. And then they almost won it. Aiken almost won regulation after that.
I think if Cunningham had realized how much time he had and taken another dribble or two,
it was tipped. So the clock didn't start right away. The clock should have started when that ball was tipped right in the inbounds. It didn't start until a little bit later after that. But yeah, I mean, just a crazy sequence there, and I mean, goodness. I mean, that is.
I was like,
I mean,
I thought I was gonna have a second finish with my hands on my head.
I mean, like you said last night on the group chat, Wes, it took years off my life.
No doubt.
But the craziest part was that Aiken only led once, and that was at 2-0.
Yeah, right.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Sand Sharks controlled pretty much the entirety of that game until that last stretch where Aiken was able to claw their way back.
But
and it took USCB.
To Aiken's credit, they could never pull away. Like they could get it to like 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, they did. And it was the big man, number 24. He was always there. They had a couple of, and they didn't shoot many threes. They just kept driving, getting buckets at the rim.
Yeah. No, they're not a very good three-point shooting team, and they don't shoot many. But they were really tough inside. German.
They're tough to beat, especially with that 6'10" guy.
Yeah, German
24 who.
He's an
animal. It's hard to guard that guy.
I'm glad that guy's graduating.
Yeah.
He's tough. He's tough, man. Somebody's going to pay him a lot of money to play overseas somewhere because you can't.
Yeah, he's going to be a star somewhere in Europe.
and
no
his
doubt.
body control is really good.
But credit to the Sand Sharks, though, because I'll say if they didn't hit a couple of massive threes down the stretch, they could have lost it in regulation, or at least Aiken could have had a chance to steal it. Just awesome shooting the last couple of minutes in terms of the beyond the arc, because
They
they
made their
again,
free throws.
yeah, they did make a decent amount of their free throws, but there were a few
They
that they
did miss
did. I'll
couple
tell you,
front
because they were
ends.
up like a decent amount. Yeah, they're up 6 or so, and then Eason missed missed one, and then and then Aiken was able to get themselves back in it. Blackwell with that 3, because Eason made 1 of 2. If he made it second, it would be a 4-point game. That's a tough one.
I think
But
that was the only one they missed in overtime, though. They were like 9 out of 10.
and then before that, I mean, a couple of huge threes by both Dominic Eason and Tassos Fanos, where Aiken was
And
really
Price.
knocking on the door trying to get back. And if those threes don't go down, Aiken may have won that game in regulation. I mean, those threes were massive.
And Price hit a couple big ones too.
Yep.
That like every time Aiken started really making noise, they hit a 3 until the end when they didn't have a chance to answer.
Right.
But yeah, that was Coach Basirko about lost his mind on that 3-point, because he's like, at that point, they got to shoot a 3. So you switch all your screens above the 3-point line. Everything's above the perimeter. You don't let anybody have any space beyond the perimeter. And I mean, like I said, I could see Blackwell fighting through the lane, trying to get to the corner from where I was sitting. And I as they're looking to inbound, I'm like, he's looking for someone. He's looking for Blackwell in the corner, and he was open. I was like, oh Lord, you knew it was going down. You just knew it. And then I thought Cunningham's was going down at the buzzer. I really did. It was scary. But Sand Sharks survive. They're a game behind Augusta for second place, tied for third with Aiken, and Columbus State's 2 games ahead in first, and they both got to come through the Cove before the season's end. So it's all in front of them.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to getting there
And
next Saturday.
I believe I was looking at the standings, and they are actually close to clinching a top 4 spot. And I believe if everything breaks right, they could do it on Saturday, because they have the head-to-head with Lander. Yeah. And that's important, because if they win, Lander loses. Lander would not be able to catch them, because USCB has the head-to-head. And I believe North Georgia, if they lose,
that's right.
I don't think either of them could catch them at that point. So it's all in front of them heading to a road game, and I bet you the Sand Sharks are that much fired up and motivated going into Flagler after what happened that last game.
Oh yeah, they're ready for that one. And if they win that one, then all bets are off. I mean, then
all they need to do is win 2 out of 3, and they've clinched that 4 spot no matter what happens, or the top 4 spot no matter what happens. But also, I mean, it is possible, because that we still have a couple games left and things can change. We could have a matchup for second place with Augusta in the last day of the season.
Right. Very well could. Yeah.
Yep.
Gonna be fun, boys. Well, let's show some love to some sponsors. We welcome back Hudson's Seafood House on the docks for another year on the Lowco Booster Club. Best place on Hilton Head for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails. Right on Skull Creek, just a beautiful spot. You gotta check it out at the golden hour. I can't wait for the spring forward. By the way, I'm ready for the later sunsets.
Daylight savings time can't come soon. I'm ready for some.
Getting closer.
Ready for that.
Getting closer, and this cold weather too. It's hanging around. It's hanging around late in February.
Hudson's is also the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We had a new episode came out Tuesday night. Go check it out wherever you get your podcasts, or on the Lowco Media Network if you want to see Rich, Curry, and Bob in living color. We also have a new Lowco Booster Club sponsor, thanks to Max. Hilton Head Furniture joining us as a Lowco Booster Club member. Great spot to upgrade your furniture in the house. Everybody needs a new couch every now and then. So if your wife's talking about new furniture, make sure you go to Hilton Head Furniture and support the folks who support Lowco Sports. We don't have ad copy yet, so I'm just making stuff up. But President Harry full court, double teamed off, blitzing off screens, just crazy work. Yeah. Yeah. I've moved on from that.
Yes.
I'm so tired at this point. I'm virtually comatose. It is time for spring sports. I agree, Dane Goat Golf.
Yep. It is coming. Actually, lacrosse begins on Monday.
It sure does.
Yeah,
I
it
started
does.
entering schedules, getting us prepared for that.
Lacrosse
And we
is
had
on
like
Monday, and I believe
Loco games
soccer
right
is
out
the
of the
next.
gate.
I mean, baseball has already started for the high
Yes,
school
now
level.
SCISA they have started because SCISA loves to start things early, which is cool. So they've
Great.
already kicked things off for spring sports, so that they have already begun that.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, Hillman Christian did lose last night to IMG Academy 12-0, which is better than I had
Yep.
expected, especially against that team.
Before we
Won tonight, though,
move
right?
forward, before we wrap things up, shout out to that USB softball team. 2 nice
Yeah.
wins over Edward Bars. I mentioned at the top, but the Saint Sharks are rolling, and they showed some terrific, prowess at the plate once again. And Sierra Kinlaw doing her thing. She goes a full 7, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. Terrific day for her. 107 pitches, and has been continued to be a workhorse up there. And then Jaden Goodwin, Taylor Chang, with some nice days at the plate. Good to see a couple of different bats shine over there for the Saints. We talked about Mackenzie Ford, who's had a terrific start. She actually wasn't in the lineup in the first game. Let me check the second game and see if she was playing in that one, and she was not. So I'll have to, I'm not sure if what the status is of Ford, if she was just taking a day off or if there's something wrong. But nevertheless, the Saint Sharks got two really nice wins. Won the second one 9-3, and no home runs, but 11 hits and a couple of tremendous days for Saria Simmons and Taylor Chang. So some new some different faces showing up in some big moments for USCB. So great to see that. They play some great team softball. They'd love to, hopefully they'll get Mackenzie Ford back in there soon. But it's good to see some other players like MJ Stradger, Allie McClear, Mariah Stevens, Caitlin Boyette. Boyette's been a really underrated piece of that team, and it's Maya Whitlock at the top of the lineup. It's a really fun team to watch. I think this softball squad right now is primed to compete right away in this conference. And Cassie Brundage picking up the win in Game 2 in the mound in the circle to complete the sweep. So congrats to the softball ladies. They are at Coker on Sunday for a doubleheader, and then back to the Cove on Tuesday against Fayetteville State.
Yeah, I would guess they're just getting some different people at bats.
Yeah.
You like to do that midweek, work some people in.
You have to say you like how they're playing to start off the season. I mean, they're playing absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just meant as far as I don't think Ford's probably hurt or anything. I think they were
right. I expect you're playing at least one of the 2 games, but on the other hand, it is a non-conference game. So, like I said, I'm not sure what the status is. But,
I mean, look at how they're scoring too. They score quick. I mean, when they get someone on, they score really quick. I mean, I've noticed that from the couple of times I've seen them play, especially against who was it that I did on last Friday? I can't remember.
Shorter.
Yeah.
Shorter.
Yeah. They scored quick on. That first game they scored quick. Second game
they score in bunches sometimes too.
They score in bunches,
but home runs do that.
They had that big inning early in that Southern Wesleyan game. I think they scored 5 runs in the first inning. Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be a very dangerous team. They seem to have the pieces.
I'm intrigued to see how
you
they
got
do.
Table setters, base stealers, you got bangers, they seem to be solid defensively. The outfield can really go get it.
Yep.
I really think they're going to be towards the top of the Peach Belt Conference boards this season in terms of.
I think so. I mean, I think they're a top half team, and I think if they stay healthy and everything breaks right, they can be a top 3rd, top 4th.
I want to see this team play North Georgia. I'm not going to lie. I want to see them play North Georgia.
We'll get to. That's the beauty of it.
We're getting there. We're going to get there.
Patience.
Yeah, I know. Patience. I get it. I know. I will say there was another score for Hilton Head Christian Academy's baseball team. They played again tonight.
Yeah, they won.
Against Southwest Florida Christian won 17-13. How about this? Slade Bird had 2 homers in the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Slade Bird and Roman Coella each had homers in this game. They went on a tear. And I have videos of each one because they're on the Game Changer app. So
Nice.
I will try and get those videos out to you guys, and we can put them on the internet and social media for everyone to
Put
see.
them on the interwebs.
The interweb.
So I mentioned this earlier. I teased it. All-State basketball came out tonight or today. South Carolina Basketball Coaches Association. We had a number of Lowco kids make the list, and this is pretty tough to make. I mean, they only do like what 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they don't choose many. You really got to earn it most of the times to get on that list.
It's like 15 plus a player of the year, so 16 per classification, basically. Harry Skinner makes it from Bluffton. Josh Leonard, who we saw tonight for Wilson, 4A player of the year.
Yep.
And they also had Tristan Thompson on the All-State team. But Harry Skinner makes the 4A team. No representation there. Marion Wilson from Bridges Prep and Darius Brooks from Hampton County, both in the 2A team. Darius averaging like 21.5.
Yeah, he's on a tear.
Yeah.
Whew.
He's a player.
I mean,
he caught my eye in the Bluffton Classic.
He can play.
He caught my eye when he got called up to the varsity as a freshman for the playoff run for that Estill team, the last Estill team. And I was like,
oh yeah,
this dude's a freshman. And he's pretty legit. He's a legit scorer and is really, really fun to watch. So it's gonna be cool to see what he can do. And then here we go. 1A. No, we didn't get, but I was proud. I was at the region meeting, picking the 1A team for our region, and I was glad to see Josh Goodman and Terrence Hinton from Denmark both got on, along with Jaden Williams from Allendale. Girls side, we didn't have any reps on the 4A. Nia and Dalia will have to wait their turn. They're not putting freshmen on it's a lifetime achievement award in a lot of ways.
A lot more seniors compared to other upper or underclassmen.
Yeah,
for the most part.
2A though,
as a junior.
tough night for them tonight, losing tonight. But Lyric Jones, I believe that's her second consecutive All-State selection at Hampton County. And then no locals on the 1A list. I was kind of hoping Jaden Exley might sneak in there. But Denmark's Avion Walker, the player of the year in 1A, and Denmark's Rhinasia Barnes also made the All-State team along with Bamberg's Raven Brown. So we got 3 from our region on there. So there's your All-State basketballers on the from the South Carolina Basketball Coaches Association.
There you go.
A lot of great hoop stars this
year. It's been a great basketball season. And a lot of emerging talent this year, which I'm looking forward to seeing them develop in continuing seasons. A lot of younger, especially on the girls' side, changing the guard, a lot more younger players. I'm excited to see how that Bluffton team grows. May River, Terry Kick's doing a fantastic job in year 1. Hilton Head had some tremendous standouts, and of course ran into a tough Bishop England team, but they had a great year. And then Beaufort kind of came out of nowhere, and they're still in it. They're headed to they're headed to Bishop England. So some more stories still possibly yet to be written if the Eagles can knock off the Bishop England Battling Bishops. And you never know, region game, you've seen each other before. Maybe you find a game plan to kind of beat them.
Like I told Reggie tonight when I saw him, I said, we always say it's tough to beat a good team 3 times, so go give them hell. And he said, we're going to give them everything we got.
That's what it's about.
And, that team's just gotten better and better. They're so young, so the growth curve is steep, so they're just improving dramatically and every time out. And so I think they've got a chance to be competitive in that game. Much like this Bluffton game tonight where I said there's a scenario where they just get outclassed from the start and are taken out of the game and they lose big. But I think there's also a scenario like we saw play out tonight where Bluffton kind of weathered the storm and fought back and gained confidence, and then we had a fight on our hands. So I think the familiarity and the fact that one of those games was pretty close, right? Like the first time they played them, maybe I got to look it up. But the Beaufort Bishop England games, I don't think they were lopsided, if I remember right. 56-45 and a 72-44. So the second,
Yeah, I remember there was one blowout in there. So,
but the first one was pretty tight.
Yeah.
And so, they gotta definitely have a good game plan and execute it well. But I think there's a scenario where they can play with them.
Yeah.
So it's tough on the road.
This time of the year. I mean, it's one and done. You never know.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you did earlier. It's about what you do in this one coming up. So,
Well, if they play the way they did in the second half against Airport, they got.
Oh no, yeah, they were all over. They were all over Airport. It was not close in that second half. They hit some shots and make their free throws. You got to make your free throws at this point in the season, and you got to do that against Bishop England. That's just
and they got 3-point shooters too. So if they get hot, it can really change the game.
Right.
So that'll be kind of that one in Hampton. Boys.
Yeah, Hampton should be a good one over there against Burke. That could be a heavyweight fight. That should be a fantastic ball game over at I'm trying to. It's what do they call their gym?
I think the Hurricane Shelter.
Hurricane Shelter. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it now. It's still that old Red Devil barn, though.
Okay, old Wade Hampton.
Yeah, it's the old Wade Hampton gym where they're still playing at this point. So
that's a 7 p.m. tip over there.
There's still some red about, but they do have the blue pads on the end, so it looks kind of funny. But yeah, that's a great old gym. It's a great old barn. It's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fun over there. One time he'll probably have his little dog on the leash, hyping him up. I hope he's okay. I ain't seen him this week. It's been raining, so he hasn't been out there working on my field. But that should be a good one tomorrow night. Should be really fun. Let's get our last sponsors and get out of here, boys. I'm toast. Base Hit Life, our baseball and softball themed apparel sponsor. You can get you a cool hoodie like Max's. His says calm your mitts, but they got all kinds of cool styles over at basehitlife.com. So get over there, check it out, and get you a new hoodie for this weird cold weather we're having, and live your best base hit life at basehitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole will crack you up and get you feeling right. He's our official chiropractor. Find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. And let us not forget that we have 7 wrestlers going up to Florence tomorrow for the state championships.
Yeah.
We will be letting you know tomorrow night how things go on day one, who's still in the fight, who's still fighting for gold. And we'll get you all updated tomorrow night. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. And Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great spot to make friends and get your haircut. We'll see if you see me tomorrow. I'm on call because Gear Baby could arrive at any moment. Coach Gear Baby. So if he gets the call and has to bail from Florence, we'll be ships in the night. I'll be going the other direction to go coach Brian Sanchez. But we're hoping it doesn't come to that. We're hoping it doesn't come to that because that throws a wrench into everything. And softball practices, and my life is chaos, and it's just too many things for me to commit to it. But I'll definitely be following along, and I will be on call to make an emergency trip to the Florence Center if needed. And if I do, Hagen, you better buy me some Holt Brothers barbecue while we're down. Strong recommendation that everyone in Florence this weekend goes to Holt Brothers Barbecue. It's in the USC.
What's going on at Florence Center? What's going on at the Florence Center right now? It's not until
the wrestling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. I forgot about wrestling. Like I said,
3 scoring 7.
Yeah, good luck to the wrestlers this weekend. Should be a fantastic. Couple of days and what an opportunity for not just May River, but especially the Sharks after what can they do to follow up that state title on the team side, and a couple of other guys, fighting to turn themselves some medals and some hardware. And I expect a lot to be brought back. And this is what you work hard for, starting in the summer and then to the parts of the winter before the fall, and then parts of the winter before you really get into it. And this is where it all pays off. So you got to be on your best game. Getting over to the Florence Center.
Who will be wrestling over there is Bo Gwynn, our friend Bo Gwynn. He placed 4th at the lower state last weekend, so he's in the hunt. Top 4 are All-State, I believe.
By the way, I did see on the front page of the Bluffton Sun this morning
Bostradamus.
Justin Jarrett's article on Bowen and the Sharks wrestling team.
Yep, that was a fun one to write. Bo gave me good material. But Bo will be joining us Monday night, hopefully with a wrestling medal around his neck. But more importantly, to let us know where he's going to be playing his college football. So we look forward to that on Monday night.
Looking forward to that. Love to see the reveals here on the LowcoSports Lowdown.
I know, right? So cool. I love it. We've been getting some good ones lately. You remember who the first one to do it was, Wes?
Ooh, the first we've had a lot on the show, but
I think the first one was Brandon Howard. I'm pretty sure, but
it may have been. We've had a bunch of other guys on just who have. I just remember our first big guest was Nick Pringle when he just committed the law.
Absolutely.
That was the one I first remember.
But I think Butta was the first one who announced it live on the show.
Okay.
And then of course
because Nick committed before we got him on.
Yeah.
Make sure you get Bo and his entire family there for it.
There we go. Get them all crowded around the camera.
Yeah, get them all crowded around Bo, man.
Get Vance on here because he's been helpful to us as well, relaying scores and stuff. He's a big Lowco fan. So.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, let's bring this thing in for Atlanta. Yes, Buc-ee's is definitely on the list when you go
Buc-ee's.
to
That is if you're a sports journalist in South Carolina.
I know you're gonna have a brisket sandwich.
That's a spot you gotta stop and.
I know you're gonna get you a brisket sandwich at Buc-ee's, but trust me and try Holt Brothers Barbecue while you're in Florence.
Holt Brothers is good, man.
You'll end up going back. Like it's so good. And it's a cool spot as well.
Yeah.
Parting thoughts, gents.
I got two.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two for you, and Justin's gonna like both of these. I saw the other night while we were doing USCB basketball. Missouri basketball was taking on number 4 Alabama.
That's right.
And they won 110-98.
Bro,
win last night.
Bro,
how about that?
I got home and I went straight to bed, but I always put something on my phone to watch while I'm falling asleep. And I saw they were playing, so I clicked on it. I already had my glasses off, and I saw the score was 90-78, and I was like, does that say 7 minutes left? So I had to get my glasses on and be like, holy crap, that says 7 minutes left. There was actually a point where I thought we were going to score 105 or 110 points and lose possibly, but pulled that one out.
But how about, this is my second one. This will make you even more happy. How about Kansas getting absolutely smoked by BYU, 91-57.
Holy smokes is right.
By the way, that's Kansas's second straight loss because they lost to Utah earlier in the week.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not having a good time out in Utah.
They're not having a good season for Kansas.
That doesn't make me happier. Like the Mizzou result makes me happier than the Kansas result. But the combination of the two makes me exceptional.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we already got them this year because we beat them in the first time we played them in ages. We beat them when they were number 1, so we already got the bragging rights for now.
I know that, but like I was so shocked to see that.
I won't be totally content until we go further in the tournament than them, though.
Yeah,
I don't think they're getting in.
They're getting in.
They're getting in.
Kansas? They're 17-9. Yeah, they'll get in. They'll get in. Yeah,
they were listed. Yeah. They were listed last week, I think, in the. Were they in the top 16? Right, if they were in the top 16, they were just outside of it. They'll get in.
If they do get in, I don't know if they'll go far.
Well, here's the thing with Kansas. They always either flame out early or go all the way. So
they'll flame out early.
And I always pick them for the early flame out.
Yep.
On most years,
I cannot stand the Rock Chalk Jayhawk when they win.
Stupid.
On the selections and stuff where everybody's making their predictions. Somehow, according to the NCAA, North Carolina is somehow still considered to be one of the teams in the last 4.
I'm hearing people say this. It seems crazy to me.
They are 1-9 against quad 1 schools this year.
Yeah.
There's no way in God's name. Who have
They're
they
the poster child for the Power 4 or whatever school that should be left out in favor of another mid-major, but they always get in, and I hate it. because their strength of schedule 16th or some nonsense. And it's like, yeah, but they lost all those games.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Hold on. Give me a second.
drives me crazy. Any other parting thoughts?
Well, I'm looking here because we were talking about the top seeds. This is the point of the year where you really start to focus in on men's and women's college basketball. Because arguably the women's game is more captivating than the men's game right now. I am very hyped about what that women's tournament is going to look like. There's so many quality teams. As we mentioned the other day, the parity is just continued to grow and grow in that sport. So women's basketball is certainly continuing to be a terrific focal point. I am looking if I can find it here. So your number. This was the NCAA. The last couple of years, they've released around middle of the month in February. They've released their projected top couple of seeds. Your number one seeds right as of now: Auburn, Alabama, Florida, and Duke. Auburn and Alabama in basketball.
Yeah, I know.
Projected number
Crazy.
one
That's
seeds.
pretty
That
impressive.
is crazy.
I
That
was
is
a
crazy.
little
By the
bit.
way,
Bama's
Oh,
probably
those two-
in
those
danger
two
of sliding
teams-
out of one now.
I was
by the
a
way,
little bit
Auburn and Alabama-
surprised
Auburn
that
and
they
Alabama.
both were up there.
This was this weekend, so things may have changed a bit.
Yeah, by the way, Auburn and
They lost
Alabama
two
finished their
Yeah.
season facing off against one another before the
Yeah.
conference tournaments begin.
Yep.
And
Iron
Auburn's
Bowl.
already beaten them. So
The Iron Basketball.
How about St. John's? What they're doing this year?
oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Ricky
Rick Pitino,
Pitino.
man.
Rick Pitino, yeah.
Let
This
the
is kind of
magic
Rick
back to
Pitino's-
New York City.
This is kind of Rick Pitino's MO. First season he comes in, they don't do great, and then by the second season they're on a tear, and everybody's
They're
like, "Where the hell did
dangerous.
this come from?"
They're dangerous.
They're really I like St.
People
John's.
who really know ball, college ball, are talking like Curry and Rich are all over them right now. Curry is really all over them, and
Ooh.
Curry's forgotten more about college basketball than any of us will ever know. And he's really high on them. He also thinks UConn is going to be dangerous when they figure it out.
They haven't really. I hope they figure it out, but
Even though he hates Danny Hurley, hates.
I'm not a fan.
He
of
used
Danny
the F
Hurley
bomb
either.
twice on him on Tuesday night, by the way.
Yeah, because Danny Hurley cries whenever they lose.
Well, yeah, he used it because he was recalling Danny saying that he's the best effing coach in America. And he said, "You're not even the best effing coach in Newark."
Yep.
Here's my thing. Dan Hurley had that just meltdown after that tournament at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, Maui. And Curry was there. He got to see him melt down in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember him from his Rhode Island days before he went to UConn. He built
And
up a
then
couple of really good.
UConn beat who was it? Was it Creighton? I think UConn
Creighton
beat
tough
Creighton
guy.
a couple weeks back. Creighton a couple weeks back, and Coach Hurley goes and starts looking towards the Creighton student section and just lifts up his hand and goes, 2 rings, 2 rings. I'm like, dude, that's just so petty. That is the pettiest thing you can
He's a
possibly
dummy.
do as a coach.
Oh,
But
goodness.
He's right on brand for 2025, though.
Honestly.
God,
Marcus Walsh, closing thoughts.
What do you get?
I was going to bring up that big Missouri win, but I completely forgot about it. I was so enamored, certainly, with what happened tonight. Just congrats to Bluffton on a great year, and congrats to all of our low country teams on great seasons. Obviously, we still have a handful that are waiting to play, tomorrow and on the weekend possibly. But congrats to everybody, and I say it ad nauseum, especially with you guys. There's a reason that we love doing what we do so much and why we're so passionate about it. I spent, not this week, but the last 2 weeks, I spent 4 days at WHHI doing prep and whatnot for 3 games in the span of a week, roughly, and starting to get my bearings back because that wore me out. But it's great, and I love doing what we're doing, and tonight again was proof of it.
More to go for the Cross Girls, trying to run it back to back.
Congrats to them, certainly, and go get them, coach.
Absolutely.
Well,
I did have one more thing. I completely forgot about it, but
You always do.
I know. I saw today that Major League Baseball has decided to drop ESPN following this season.
I saw that too.
Wow. Yeah, I did.
Just a
How
short time ago.
shocking is that? Because as long as I can remember, actually before I was born, they had been doing Sunday night.
Well, I remember
Sunday night
John
baseball.
Miller, who
John Miller and
did it
Joe
for
Morgan.
a long time, and he was great, but he was like, or he stopped doing it like I don't know, a decade ago. It's been a while now. And then
over a
they
decade.
had Excursion in there. They had Carl Ravitch in there. So there've been a mix and match of a couple of guys, but Sunday Night Baseball has been an iconic tradition, in in baseball and from ESPN. So certainly end of an era there, as they will lose out on covering
Yeah,
MLB, and we'll see. Will like NBC or CBS get it back, because they haven't had it for a while.
yeah.
I wonder who will
No,
pick it up.
TNT's already got it.
Well, TNT's already got it.
Yeah, the TNT and TBS.
Wow. Okay, so
they
just
both
Fox and the
reduced it.
TBS, TNT.
Yeah.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing for me. Basically, I had to read the article because I was like, this is unusual. Just thinking, because like they've held the Sunday Night Baseball slot for
Right.
almost
Yeah, but all this
95
is.
plus years.
Let me
And-
recommend a podcast for you if you're interested in deeper diving on this stuff, on the broadcast deals and all that stuff. I plug it all the time, but Pablo Torre finds out.
Yes.
They have sort of like a
Great
several
show.
different kind of like themed shows that they do kind of in a rotation, and
Yeah.
one of them is called The Sporting Life. And it's with John Skipper, who was the head of programming at ESPN for a long time,
Oh, nice.
and like the main guy at ESPN,
Oh,
the guy sitting in
funny.
the negotiations with the leagues,
Right.
and
That's cool.
and then David Simon, is that right? Used to be the GM of the Miami Marlins, and
Oh,
they're
right, yeah,
both
yeah.
like really brilliant sports business minds and sports media minds, and they really understand what all goes into those broadcast package negotiations. And so every time there's a new one that comes out, they really break it down, and they discuss like in the past what they fought for and what the leagues were fighting for and what's important and why they target certain demographics and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
And so if you want to deep dive on that stuff and really
Yeah.
geek out on it,
I was
it's
gonna-
really
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
learn
say
that
I
was-
had to read the article. Ron Manfred had given a statement regarding it, and he said one of the reasons he mentioned was that ESPN does not talk about Major League Baseball enough outside of Sunday Night Baseball.
They really
on any of
don't.
their
It's
shows.
mostly
don't.
all NBA and NFL at this point.
it's a
that's-
fact. I mean,
that's
they
the-
really well, and this is something that comes up a lot in the sporting life is ESPN strategically promotes what is on their air.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so if they only
I
have
mean-
baseball on the air 2 nights a week, guess what?
Well,
Baseball
there was
they're-
a time
Stop
there
billing
used to
Apparently,
be
they're still
no,
they're
but
still
I
trying
remember
to-
when I was a kid, there was Sunday Night Baseball, there was Monday Night Baseball, there was Wednesday Night Baseball, there was
Right.
Thursday Night Baseball. What happened to that? Like there was like once you got into like August, September, there was baseball on ESPN like 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
Right.
Where did
Yeah.
that go?
They don't. I think all they do now is Sunday and Wednesday. Like I
I
think
know.
that's what they do.
I not even
I
Wednesday.
think where that
They're
went-
starting to get
I
back
just feel like
towards that, but
baseball
they got a long way to go.
in like on ESPN, like I feel like it certainly has gone down in terms of the amount of games that
Well,
Um,
I don't know for sure, but I suspect that a big part of it is just that
the interest.
MLB TV, like baseball has it figured out as
Yeah.
far and has for a
Right.
long time as far as MLB TV.
Right.
And so I think baseball fans more than any others, because it's there every day,
Right.
are trained to go to MLB TV, and that's
Right.
where they go.
And-
that's where they
yeah.
find
Well,
the games.
the
Yeah.
other
When
part
you
is
go
that-
there and the game's blacked out
Right.
because it's on ESPN, it's super annoying. And
the other
so,
thing I want-
but I
I
also
want-
just don't know the ad value. I
Yeah.
don't think is there for
I'm
baseball.
intrigued to see. I'm intrigued to see if Major League Baseball does sign someone else, some other broadcasting.
That's what I was saying. Do they
company to
go?
do a
Do they go
deal.
to another like major?
I mean, they're definitely by breaking that tie. They're basically saying we want to put it on the open market. We're free agents.
free
Well, the other
agents.
thing is
Right.
And we wanna see who
ESPN
wants
said they were. ESPN basically said they would continue to talk on possibly
Yeah.
putting a deal together.
Yeah,
Because of course ESPN is going to be opening up a what was it? A new platform that basically brings all sports straight to the consumer
okay.
without having to deal with
So it sounds like they're kind of in a standoff right now where ESPN's trying to pitch them on something new, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't know. We're going to test the waters."
Well, ESPN, I feel like when
Everything that gets said in the press,
we
gets said
need
on
something
purpose,
other
too.
than
Remember
Fox
that.
though to watch
Yeah.
national baseball games, because of course I can't get Braves games these
Right.
days because
I ain't
makes me
seen the
so
Braves
angry.
play a game all year because
By
the
the way,
MLB
baseball,
they
are-
Braves baseball. Do what they used to do.
Oh,
You know what? At this point, do what they used to do. Put it back on Turner Broadcasting for every game now. I mean, just put it back to the way it was.
I mean, those were the good old days when you could watch the Cubs every afternoon and the Braves every evening. No
Dude,
matter where you live.
Braves baseball at night, man, on Turner Broadcasting, man.
WGN and TBS.
As I've said many times, there are
It's
three
called the
teams that I grew
Marquee
up
Sports
loving.
Network. Marquee Sports Network or whatever the Cubs games
Royals
are.
because I could go to the games,
Yeah.
and it was the Cubs and the Braves because they were on my TV every day.
That's the thing. Like, I think that's why Braves have one of the largest fan bases in the country, and that's
why they're the team of the South.
Yep.
Yeah, not only
They
because
are. They have a
the team
huge
of the
because
South,
you don't
but
really have. There's no team in Charlotte. There's no team in Nashville.
Yeah,
I feel like that could change soon. I think
do too.
Nashville's going to get a team very soon. If once,
I know
feel like
Orlando's vying to have a baseball
Orlando
team
potentially.
as well.
Yeah. Yep. I just feel like the fact that there are no teams in other major metropolitan markets in the South, I feel like that's going to change soon.
I just don't think we need more in Florida. Like
Not
baseball,
Florida, but like other
Apparently
southern areas.
Or
signed, but I'm like,
California.
Wait, hold on. You're literally like 4 hours from Miami and literally an hour and a half from Tampa. Why do you need another baseball team?
Well, and neither one of those teams draws very well.
Well, the Rays, it's weird because the Rays have been so good for so long. But and unfortunately, with the hurricane that came through, now their stadium's wiped out, and so it's a.
They might fill out that stadium more than they do their own. Honestly, like that, and
that's the crying shame of it. I'm not a Rays fan, but that's the crying shame of it. You've got a team that is legitimately in contention just about every year. And nobody goes.
They can't draw at all. And I don't
understand
the Tropicana field. They need a
unless they're moving the Rays.
Even beforehand, they didn't draw before the
Rays to Montreal.
How about we just consolidate the Rays and the Marlins into one team in Orlando, and then we add one in Nashville, and then everybody's happy.
I'm good with that.
Well, the Marlins
I think Portland would be cool too, but
Portland, yeah, sure.
Another West Coast team
would be really
cool. But I do think we need another team in like either Nashville or Charlotte or
Charlotte would be great. Nashville
would be awesome.
Charlotte's got a beautiful stadium already for minor league ball.
But they got the.
Have you seen that stadium they have in Charlotte, man? That field that the ACC uses for their tournaments,
the championship. Yeah, I actually broadcast the game there. When I was at Davidson, we got to broadcast the play. Broadcast the game there. We played Winthrop and we won in a walk-off. That was fun.
Oh, it's a cool stadium. I'm telling you.
All right, fellas. Well, we've final thoughted for a good 20 minutes, so that's probably sufficient for tonight.
Good enough for me.
Big day tomorrow. It's Friday. We all got jobs and we got stuff to do, but we also get to watch and talk about sports tomorrow night. Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 9:30-ish. That would be my guess for the LowcoSports Lowdown. And it was a good one tonight. Enjoyed it. Shout out to Fish for jumping on with us, helping us break down that Bluffton game. Shout out to the boys from Beaufort's Own. I noticed that Red was on the call again tonight with Javon. So that was cool to see. Shout out to them for a great job they've done all season.
Shout out to the Bobcats for a great year.
Been tremendous. Yeah, shout out to the Bobcats for a great season. And shout out to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm, and our newest, Hilton Head Furniture. We appreciate your support, and we'd love to have more sponsors. So get in touch with us, info@LowcoSports.com, or you can find us on the socials or, on here. Just come on and talk to us. We'd love to have you in the family. Thanks again to everybody involved tonight, everybody who listened or watched. Looked like Kevin Libby was catching up on his Z's, so shout out to him.
I think he's been doing that much of the week. If I'm being honest,
he's been a little sick, a little under the weather. So
yeah, I'm gonna check in on him tomorrow.
Yeah. So good stuff, boys. We'll see you tomorrow night. For Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV and my Lowco G's, Max Araj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, stay local.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco!